Hey everybody, how's the treasure hunting going? Over this past weekend, I watched the new movie that came out in Apple Plus called The Fountain of Youth. It's a Guy Ritchie produced movie. It's got John Krasinski, I think that's how you say his name, the guy that played in The Office and A Quiet Place. And it's got Natalie Portman, who, as a Star Wars fan, uh, always liked Natalie Portman. But it's a movie about uh, a group looking for the Fountain of Youth. John Krasinski is basically uh, stealing these valuable paintings across the world because supposedly there's clues on these paintings that lead to the Fountain of Youth. And Natalie Portman is his sister, and the two of them, their father was a famous archaeologist, and she's now like a museum curator, and he is a treasure hunter. And that's basically what the movie's about is their journey and adventure looking for this. And of course, the police are after them. And of course, there's this uh, group that is their sole function is to protect the Fountain of Youth. Um, but when I saw the previews for it, I thought there was the possibility that it could be a little bit corny, but it's a hunting movie, and I watch treasure hunting movies. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It had a certain Indiana Jones and Uncharted and Laura Croft type feel to it. So, if I see something like that, I'm going to watch it. And I liked it. It was good. I mean, towards the end, there was some kind of fantastical things that kind of happened and was a little bit silly, but for the most part, it was a good movie. If you like Indiana Jones, you like those type of movies, I would say watch the movie. You'll enjoy it. But one of the things that I was, as I was watching, I don't want to give away anything about the movie, but I will say at some point in the movie, they do end up in Egypt and at the ancient pyramids. They end up all over the world, but whenever Egypt comes up, Egypt is one of the things that I love. I'm fascinated with ancient Egypt. And it's funny because it just seems like in the last month or two, ancient Egypt has been in the news lately. And like I said, I've always been fascinated with it. It is one of the places that's definitely on my bucket list of places to go. I mean, I I want to go there so bad. I'm just so fascinated with it. I'm fascinated with the premise that we legitimately still don't know how they were built. There's all kinds of speculation and talks about when they were built and who really built them. Was it actually Egyptians? Did the Egyptians find them that way? I don't buy into the conspiracies about aliens building them or anything like that. But I do suspect that maybe the Egyptians didn't know them, maybe they found them, but maybe not. Um, but either way, I'm fascinated with them. Always have been fascinated with them, and the idea that also I think I read something about 99% of Egypt has still yet to be discovered. It's still under the sand, and that's just amazing to me. But when I say that it has been in the news lately, so first off, it was a couple months ago, and when I first saw it on social media, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was one of those scam sites that post these crazy things all the time. But what had come up was that some scientists or researchers had discovered um, these objects underneath one of the Great Pyramids. Not the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid is the biggest one. I think it's the second one, Khrafe's one. And they discovered using some type of radar, sonogram type things that penetrates and sees. And what it found was what they're saying is like 8 cylindrical columns that go down like 2,000 meters or something like that. And supposedly they have coils and they lead down to these 2 chambers based off their scans. And so when I first read about it and saw the photos of it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, but didn't like I said, didn't know if it was real. But then once I started reading up on it and seeing more stuff about it, I mean, it's totally, it wasn't a fake article. Let's just say that. Now, there is some skepticism about it. I mean, there's a lot of people in the community that are saying that no, there's no way that can happen. Some of the biggest, what they call them, pseudo archaeologists. I'm big fans of them, but like the Graham Hancocks and the Jimmy Corsettis, um, the debunking guy, I forget what his name is, who I like him too, but they're all skeptical of it as well. But what all of them do agree with is that it at least needs some more look, at least needs some more researching. I think like Jimmy Corsetti said, it'd be very easy. Just drill a small hole, put a camera in there, show it. But nobody seems to want to do that. Zahi Hawass, used to be the head of ancient Egypt antiquities, immediately came out and said that it was a bogus claim. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot of people that trust anything that he has to say anyway. So just because he comes out and says something like that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true either. But like I said, I agree with Jimmy Corsetti. I agree with Dan Hancock. I agree with a lot of these people that, let's go find out. It'd be very easy. Like I said, it's still fascinating that I think it's been, 7 years now, where using some type of satellite imagery or radar, whatever technology it is, they discovered that there is another chamber above the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. And like I said, that was discovered like 7 years ago. And to this day, they've still done nothing to get inside there or look inside there. They've done nothing. And as far as I can tell, they have no plans to do anything like that as well. And it's one of those that's fascinating to me. Why would they not do that? And if you talk to several people that have been there and watch videos about it, I mean, people say that if you walk around the Giza plateau, I mean, there's tunnels and holes going down and chambers all over the place. So it wouldn't be out of this world to say that there is something under the pyramids. It's always been a fascinating concept to me. And one of the things that without giving up any more of that movie is, in the movie, there was stuff under the pyramids and that went way down under the ground too. So I thought that was a little kind of funny, because I'm assuming that this movie was made well before this discovery was laid out. So I thought that was kind of funny as well. But the other big news about Egypt is I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. I listen to him. I love that he has all kinds of different guests and all kinds of different topics, because I like all kinds of different topics and I like all kinds of different guests. And so a couple of weeks ago, Zahi Hawass was actually on the Joe Rogan show. And I thought that would be interesting, because I have found in watching the Joe Rogan show that sometimes he has guests that going into it, I might have had a negative view of, that after watching the show, that I end up not having a negative view of. It's like, oh, okay, I understand their position a little bit better. And then vice versa. I've had people that go on there that I thought I liked, and then afterwards, like, ooh, that guy seems kind of douchey. So I was interested to watch the Zahi Hawass show, especially considering some of the friends that Joe Rogan has in the Graham Hancocks, who's had such a history and a battle with Zahi Hawass. And one of the things before the show had come out was that I did hear that Graham Hancock and Zahi Hawass had kind of mended whatever fences, issues that they had and were actually cordial with each other now. And I think Graham Hancock is actually allowed to go back into Egypt now. So I thought it would be interesting. And then when I watched the show, I'm not gonna lie, it took about 10 minutes where I was having a hard time watching it anymore. It was tough to listen to. But I gave it the benefit of the doubt. It was a shorter interview for Joe Rogan podcast. Usually his podcasts are 3 hours or close to 3 hours, and this one was just over 2 hours. And I didn't watch it all in one sitting. I listened to it in kind of spurts, but oh my God, it was horrible. I mean, I didn't, it was hard to do, but I actually left the podcast with a worse feeling about Zahi Hawass than when I had started it. And I didn't know if that was going to be possible. And so then I was wondering, did I go in there with some type of a bias to begin with? Did I go in there with, I think I'm going to hate this guy, and so as he starts talking, I hate this guy? Did I go in there with that type of vibe anyway? And so I did something that I don't usually do. I went to the comments page just to see what other people were saying, and the comments said the exact same things that I was thinking in my head. And then I've listened to a couple of Joe Rogan podcasts since then where he's talked about it. And I think he said it was one of the worst podcasts that he's been a part of, one of the worst guests. But I mean, if you haven't watched it, all it is him basically denying almost everything. Basically claiming to have discovered everything in Egypt. And anytime there was any type of questions whatsoever, it was, read my book. Do you have evidence of this? It's in my book. Do you have photos of this? It's in my book. So it's funny. I mean, let's just kind of go over some of the comments right now, because the comments, if you just go to the comment sections and listen to it or read it, it'll crack you up. It's pretty funny. Let's see here. Not going to turn it on, but let's just go some of this. Oh, look, everyone, it's the number one guy in stopping anyone from researching ancient Egypt. After you get through all the scammers at the pyramids, he's the final boss. Zahi Hawass and Neil deGrasse Tyson should start a podcast called Let Me Finish. When a country is ruled by corrupt military generals for decades, this is the kind of people who get all the important roles in the country. He has major, my friend, I have special price for you, just for my friends. Forget gatekeeping, this man has built the damn gate. I'm the only one with an open mind is absolute comic gold. I'm 40, this dude has been on every single Egyptian documentary I've watched. It's such a shame he's a snake oil salesman. Gatekeeper is an understatement. Motherfucker is the gate. Fun fact, the word I was used 506 times, the word me was used 257 times, and the word my was used 58 times. This dude would be the villain in an Indiana Jones movie. And that's, I mean, there is over 2,000 comments, and just about every single comment was the same. I think I heard one person as I was watching something afterwards that said the best evidence, or the best way to give the Graham Hancocks and the Jimmy Corsettis and what these pseudo-archaeologists, the best way to give them any credit right now is to just let Zahi Hawass talk, because he is the best thing to support them, because he was so bad. So yeah, it's fascinating. So I did also hear just recently where they had said that Graham Hancock and Brian Maresu, I don't know if you guys have heard of Brian Maresu or not, but he wrote a book called The Immortality Key. Fantastic book, by the way. It's about the role of psychedelics in ancient Greece and the Eleusinian mysteries. It reads like an Indiana Jones book. I couldn't recommend it highly enough, but apparently they've talked to the researchers, the Italian researchers who did this scan or study about those shafts in ancient Egypt, and based off them talking to them, that they're now convinced, or at least not as skeptical about it not being true as well. So for whatever that's worth, but I do I do think it is a very interesting thing because those researchers that did this, I mean, they're real scholars, they're real academics. It wasn't just some random people. It's they really did this. They really published a study. It wasn't peer reviewed, but um, I would love to see love to see some peer review stuff get looked into it. Um, because God, wouldn't that be fascinating? Wouldn't it be absolutely fascinating if there really was these eight chamber or eight columns that had coils that led to these two rooms? I mean, thousands of feet underground, and that's just in one of the pyramids. I mean, like I said, what would that do to history? How would that reshape history if that's the case? And what would they be for? I mean, there's the one guy I know that his whole theory is that the pyramids were a power plant. And God, that really would support help support a claim like that. But who knows? I mean, who knows? And I mean, just the simple fact that that would have even been possible to do. It's just amazing. Like I said, ancient Egypt's absolutely amazing to me. Like I said, to me, like I said, yes, I'm big into treasures. I want to find gold and I want to find things like that. But to find these different things and like that in ancient times, these mysteries and solve these mysteries and things like that. To me, that's treasure too. And those are the kind of things that absolutely fascinate me, and I would love for it to be true. So on that note, I guess my recommendations to you would be go watch Fountain of Youth. Like I said, if you like treasure hunting movies or adventures, it's good for that. Um, Check out the Zahi Hawass interview on Joe Rogan. Read the comments, and hey, go get some boots on the ground. And why don't you go find something? Why don't you go find something, some type of treasure, some type of mystery, and share it with the world. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this type of stuff, like I said, I'm into a little bit of everything. I love treasures. I love ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, mysteries, American history, just everything. If you're into that kind of stuff, uh, keep watching, subscribe, follow the channel, comment what else you would like to see. But until next time, thanks, guys.